Learned a lot, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'll definitely do it again. This is always the hard part, starting the introduction. Like, I could never get past the introduction. But hi, you guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I have not been posting a lot lately. I am a full-time student, so it's kind of hard to, it's not hard to record, it's just the editing part. It takes me much longer to edit videos, and I actually enjoy recording. So I have like so many videos that I've done that I've never actually edited, or I'll start editing and I'll just be like, you know. But as you can tell by the title, this is gonna be a get ready with me, and I'm gonna talk about my experience competing in the Miss Ohio pageant. And you guys already know what I'm rocking on my head. This is royalty hair extensions. It was a 20-inch full lace body wave wig. I just pretty much just wanted it. That's why the hair texture isn't body wave anymore. It's pretty much like a loose wave, but I love it. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera just because of the simple fact that I take like forever to do my eyebrows. But just so you guys know, I use Anastasia Dip Brow in the color Ebony, and I just use Pro Conceal for my concealer. Okay, so I actually don't even know what I want to do for my makeup, like for my eyeshadow and everything. So I'm kind of just gonna freestyle. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do something to match this sweater, to be honest. Maybe just like a little fall look, I guess. So where do I start with my experience? My experience with running for Miss Ohio USA. For my eyeshadow, I'm going to use Beauty Glazed. I'm gonna start off with this like burgundy color or whatever. But Beauty Glazed, I love this eyeshadow. I got this from Amazon for like $10. But as far as like my experience, first I'm gonna start with why I decided to run for Miss Ohio USA. For what, I've always wanted to join the pageant world. For what reason? Well, when I was younger, I'll say for the glitz and glam of it. And then growing older, as I matured, the reason I wanted to do it was to embrace who I am. Because as a dark-skinned woman, not a lot of us have the bravery to get up there and embrace their skin, because our skin is looked down upon, and there's a lot of colorism going on, especially in the industry. If you're trying to become an entertainer or model, so on and so forth, it's kind of hard because a lot of people's standard of beauty is the European standard of beauty. And so doing this pageant, I wasn't looking to win. It would have been nice to win, but I wasn't looking to win. Mainly my goal was to inspire and to experience it, because I've always wanted to experience it. You can't run for Miss if you're married or have kids. So it's like, why not do this now and get to experience it? And then maybe it'll also help me work on my speaking skills, because I lack in my speaking skills. I feel like I could speak better. I should be able to speak better, and I have a lot of stage fright. I seen the sign up for the actual pageant on Instagram. I seen it on Instagram and Facebook. It just kept popping up. So I guess it was destined for me to compete, because it just kept popping up. I don't know if it was happening for everyone, but it was happening to me. And so I signed up thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking, if I send these in, they're probably not even gonna choose me. I think I signed up like October 4th or something. And then like, oh no, it was like somewhere in the beginning of October. And a few days later, I got an acceptance letter that told me the orientation is this weekend. So I'm like, whoa, why is it so soon? Because I didn't see the dates for when the competition actually is. Okay, now I'm doing like a dark brown on the outside of my eyes. I was like, I don't know anything about pageantry, but I'll go to this orientation to get more information. And so I went to the orientation and I'm getting all these, like, I'm learning a lot that day to the point where it's like, should I even compete? Like, at that point, I like doubted myself because it was like, I gotta come up with all these expenses. I don't know how to get a sponsor. I don't know anything. And it's like, I almost gave up in it. And I ran into my agent from the modeling agency I'm with. And when I was speaking with him, I'm like, I emailed him like, do you think I should wait till next year? Because I don't think I'm ready. And he's like, no, you got to do it this year. You got to do it this year. So honestly, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have backed out and waited till next year. And I don't even know if I probably would do it next year. I went ahead. I went forward with it. And my parents were like very supportive of my decision of running for Miss Ohio. And they kept reminding me that it's not about the competition, it's mainly about the experience and you getting to experience that. You being Senegalese and raised in America, you're probably one of the first Senegalese girls to run for Miss Ohio. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But it wasn't even about me being first, but it's just like they reminded me like I was brave for even stepping up to the plate to do it. I'm like, all I was doing those days. So the orientation was October 7th. The competition was on November 3rd and 4th. So I had 1 month to get all these things ready that all the other contestants basically had like a whole year to plan, because they, like, majority of the people who were competing for the pageant were constant contestants, or they've competed plenty of times, or they already had plans. Like, I didn't have any plan of competing this year at all whatsoever. Yeah, so after the little orientation or whatever, I was kind of defeated by the fact that I had all these fees. And I'm thinking, coming from like Cincinnati, I feel like I'm not gonna speak for everyone. I'll say like the African American community, we lack a lot of support. So I've always felt like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to come up with all this money and having to pay for a dress and having to look for sponsors, this, that, and the third. I was gonna try to do it on my own. Once I made my decision, I was like, okay, I can come up with all this. I got this. I got everything else, because I don't give up. I don't like quitting. And that's one thing about me. Once I start something, I have to finish it. I reached out. I asked questions on how to find sponsors. I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos. Like, YouTube was literally my life for that whole month. It was like, how do you answer these questions? How do you get sponsors? All these things. I'm thinking like, I never knew how to get sponsors and all this other stuff. So that defeated me even more, because I made a post like, it's so hard to find a sponsor and I have less than a month to compete. And mind you, the deadline to sponsors was coming. So it was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna compete without sponsors. Like, it was ridiculous. So I made like a post, and then a whole bunch of people commented, and they were like, what do you need? I can sponsor you. I got several inboxes from people, because at first I reached out to people, but I wasn't getting responses. And the people I asked to sponsor me were people who I've actually looked up to, or I've worked with them before, and I thought maybe they will be willing to sponsor me, but that wasn't the case. So I made my post. It wasn't really a rant. It was kind of like I was in my feelings, like, oh, why don't you want to sponsor me? I made the post. People reached out to me, and I made it was suggested for me to make a GoFundMe page. I don't like asking people for money. I was gonna just do it on my own, but people are like, that's what a lot of people do when they're like, that's how a lot of people get their, payments or whatever, like, just do donations. I'm like, oh, okay. So I made a GoFundMe page, but I really wasn't pushing it. But I got some donations on there. I got a lot of shares on my Facebook when I posted it, because a lot of people were excited for the fact that we have a black girl. Not only a black girl, I'm very dark, so it's just not a brown girl competing, it's a darker complexioned girl competing for Miss Ohio. And so y'all know it, Ohio's population is majority white, so it's like, finally, to everyone it was kind of like, finally there's someone representing us to compete. So a lot of people were supporting me. I was very surprised at the amount of support I was getting. Like, I didn't expect it at all. Yeah, so once I got a few donations, my mom's friends, relatives who lived in other states, and people who, the Senegalese community was helping me out tremendously, and I really appreciate everyone who supported me. Let's go back to sponsors actually. So the sponsors, basically, I got people that reached out to me, such as like designers in Senegal. That's my home country. Well, I wasn't born there, but that's where my heart is from. So from my home country, I had people here from my community also. It was so much support. I loved it. And then I just keep losing my train of thought. Yeah, so they were like, my mom knew people who owned like radio stations. Not American-owned radio stations, but their businesses ran in America, but it's for the targeting the Senegalese community. And I got a lot of support from that also. Okay, let's fast forward to, okay, the day of the orientation. I want to talk about that because I like that experience. The day of the orientation, I came in a little bit late, so I was kind of lost. And then we got like the lunch break, and I was expecting to be like that new girl who sat at a table by themselves or whatever. And you guys, I'm sorry, my eyeshadow takes forever because I'm very dark, so it's kind of hard to bring colors out sometimes, but it's getting there, so that's why I just keep adding on to it. But it looks like it's not showing on here, but like when I was in the mirror, the color's there. But okay, so I'm gonna get this like light Pro Conceal to cut my crease. So yeah, when it was lunchtime, I sat at a table, and this is a bad habit. I don't speak unless I'm spoken to. So it's not, I don't even know if it's that I'm shy. Maybe I am shy, I don't know. But I don't speak unless I'm spoken to. Really, like, if a stranger walked up to me, I will respond, and maybe sometimes the conversation will go to where it seems like I know this person for so long, but I actually don't walk up to people and talk to them. And a lot of these girls were really good at that. So it was like, this is something I need to work on, because how am I gonna become Miss Ohio and I can't approach people? So yeah, I sat down and I was talking to this girl, and she was very sweet and beautiful. And it was also her first time, so I was like, great, I'm not the only one. Like, so we were having a conversation, and then two other people who, they're basically veterans, like they've competed before, and they pretty much know the loops, they know, like, they pretty much know everything. And we were talking, getting to know each other, and I liked that experience because it made me a little bit more comfortable, because I was so nervous. Because for one, I'll say the first thing that made me nervous was the lack of diversity there. Yeah, the lack of diversity already made me nervous. So I'm like, how am I going to win if there's not enough black girls? But I think later I learned, like, there's never not enough. Like, there were 4 black girls in total who competed, and they were all beautiful. Everyone there was beautiful. When they started speaking to me, they were very kind, very sweet, and they kind of made me feel more comfortable. Like, they made me feel very comfortable. Like, I wasn't nervous anymore at that point. And this is like at the orientation. So Friday comes. Hold on, I need to concentrate on cutting my crease because, honey, I cannot. Okay, so fast forward to the day before. Oh my god, You guys, this is not even, no. The orientation, everybody wasn't there. Yeah, everybody wasn't there. But we had a fashion show. It's like a gala fashion show. And I like that because we got to sit down with, the fashion show included the teens and the misses. We pretty much got to meet the teens, got to meet everyone else who was, well, not everyone else, but majority of the people who weren't even at the orientation were there. I like that because I got to meet more people, got to speak with more people, and realize that everybody was just so kind. Like, if they see you sitting by yourself, they'll come sit right next to you, or they'll call you over to come sit down. And I like that because it felt like nobody could be left out at that moment. Like, everybody was just beautiful, everybody was just nice. Okay, and then the next day is the preliminary competition. Because when we do, the next day it was rehearsals. Then it was, the rehearsals were so long. I think they were like 2 hours. We did rehearsals, then we did, what was next after that? Then we got dressed for our interviews. And then the competition, it would be, we wear our cocktail dress where we present ourselves, and it would be like, I used to chime Hamilton County, because somebody had Cincinnati already, so I had to choose something else. I just said, I used to chime Hamilton County. It's when we present ourselves. And then it's the evening gown. No, it's swimsuit, and then the evening gown. And then they picked the top 15. No, they picked the top 15 on the next day. I'll get to that. Okay, so the interview. Girl, let me tell you about the interview. I think I'm gonna make this like orange, like my shirt. This color. Okay, so the interview. That's what I was most nervous about because, before all of this, actually, the same week, I finally found somebody who had experience in the Miss Ohio pageant and other pageants, and they pretty much took all the ease off my back because I didn't know how the questions were going to be. I didn't know what the judges would expect. They pretty much offered to help me out, and they helped a whole lot. We basically met up that week because it was so last minute. We met up that week for just 2 days. We did like 2 hours each day. So the day of the interviews, I was very nervous. I was ready to get it over with, to be honest. Because after the interview, I was pretty much I felt free. Like, I was so excited for everything else. Like, I didn't care if it was a competition. I didn't care if I lost. I was there for the experience. So you walk in pairs. They did this in 2, so it'll be 4 judges here, 3 judges here. And so each judge had different backgrounds. One of them was, I know for sure one of them was a Miss Contestant or a former Miss Ohio Miss. But they all had different backgrounds, and I like that because it would be less biased, I guess, because like it was just people of different backgrounds. It's not like everybody had a pageant experience. Like, they were all judges from different backgrounds, career-wise, life-wise, culture-wise, all of that. The girl I was paired up with would go to one table while I'm at the other table. They tell us to say our names and I think what we represented, and then you turn around. My slow self, because they already reminded us, but I just did it. I was unexperienced, so I was like, I stood there and I smiled first. And they were like, aren't you supposed to say your name? I was like, oh, IC2, Hamilton County. And then they were like, I think you're supposed to turn around. I'm like, oh, I turn around. And then they were laughing, though. I made them laugh. It was funny because it was just like, I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know when. So, okay, I turned around. They asked me questions. They had some good questions regarding, like, what I'm in school for and why I chose to run in this pageant. And I told them why. Pretty much, like I said in the news, I forgot to bring up the news. I was on the news, you guys. And I volunteered to be on the news because I just wanted to get my story out. I just want to say why I was competing in the Miss Ohio pageant. Well, that's because I'm here to influence and to be a great role model, because there are a lot of women little girls, African American or Senegalese, who look up to me and they're afraid of embracing their dark complexion or just embracing who they are. And I'm here to advocate for them. I tell them that, and they ask me some good questions. Like, I actually wanted to keep answering questions, to be honest, but they only gave us 2 minutes each table, so we had 4 minutes to talk pretty much. And yeah, I feel like I wish it was more time because I wanted to say more. But they'll ask me like, what are some things that you contributed in, and some things that you want to change, or like, what's a law? They ask me, what's a law that has passed in the past, like, that you would have changed? I'm like, slavery. The first thing that popped up was slavery. I'm like, that should have never even been a thing. That should have never existed. Everyone should be equal. Nobody should feel superior to anyone. That's how I answered that one. And they also asked me, like, I think it was like, what's one big concern that I have, or one thing that I'd like to change or make a difference of. And I said that because I'm a first generation American, meaning like my parents were born in a whole nother country and then they birthed me here, I want there to be some type of, okay, so coming back from school, I really wasn't able, up to a certain grade, I really wasn't able to go to my parents and ask them for help on my homework. So just like most kids were able to do that, I really wasn't. And I know a lot of people who were in my position could relate to that also. And I know that for a fact. I was like, I wish there was a way to provide for children that were like me. So they asked me questions, and then I go to the next table, and the first thing I did was turn around. I forgot to say my name. So I turned back around, because I remembered that. I turned back around, I said my name and county, turned back around. And so, yeah, they asked me good questions. I just wish that the questions were longer. I mean, the time that we had was longer, but it's okay, because at least my nerves went out the window, because to be honest, I thought I was gonna come in there nervous, but I wasn't that nervous. I guess I kind of was, but I wasn't, because the judges were really nice, and they didn't like just have like a straight face. Like, it wasn't like, they didn't make me feel uncomfortable. And after the interviews was over, after that, to be honest, that was the only thing I was worried about. After that, I just wanted to do everything else was like for fun for me. I was still competing, of course. I had my game face on, but it was like everything else was just for fun. Like, I couldn't wait to walk across stage in a beautiful gown. The swimsuit part, I was kind of nervous about that, because I don't know about walking across the stage in a swimsuit. That was the first for me. But let's say, especially for a competition, and like, once I got on stage, to be honest, as far as like, okay, so I mentioned that we rehearsed, so like everything went as perfect. The only thing that was like hard, that I know a lot of the girls also struggled in, because it was like so many different, like, okay, so like there was so many different routines for each segment. So like knowing where you had to start, like in the, like behind the curtains, was like mind-boggling. Like, it was just like all over the place. Because of rehearsals, oh my God, because of rehearsals, I realized that I could not walk in my dress, because I mentioned that my sponsor made my dress in Africa. I could not walk in it. The dress was so long, and I got so nervous. Luckily, the competition was in my city, because my mom came to the rescue, hurried up and took it to a tailor to adjust the dress. I was so lucky. Oh my God. Like, if it wasn't for me being in Cincinnati, I don't know what I would do, because I could not, like, my dress, I kept stepping over the front of my dress, so I could have fell on stage. So we hurried up, got it fixed, brought it back right in time. Well, not right in time, right before the time. No, it was actually right on time. We brought it back right in time, because we had like a 2-hour break, I think. And so I had to go buy the pieces and get it fixed. I was so lucky. Behind the stage, behind like the scenes and everything, like The girls were very encouraging, especially the ones that already been through this and all of that. Like, they were very sweet. Like, everyone was nice. And it kind of shocked me because I thought coming in, I thought that it was going to feel like a competition. I thought everybody was going to be bratty, mean, and, you know, I just thought it was going to feel like competition where everybody felt like you're the competition. So, and that was like the complete opposite. I'm like, wow, I've never seen this before. It felt more like a empowerment type of thing, and I'm glad that that's how it was. Everybody was just so nice. I just couldn't believe how nice everyone was. So getting on the stage, I wasn't nervous because I've done fashion shows and stuff, but I think the main reason why I wasn't nervous was kind of like I was reminding myself, look at the judges and smile. I just kept reminding myself, and it pretty much came easy. It was just a more elegant fashion show. Every time someone got off the stage, they were congratulated, and it was overall a great experience. I wonder if I should do like a little white in the beginning to make it, to give it like that ombre look. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to do some eyeliner. I hate doing eyeliner. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop talking for this part because this is where I have to focus on. Okay, so I got my winged eyeliner on. Okay, back to my experience. The first day, my whole family, my friends came. Well, not my whole family, but some of my family came. My friends came. I got some good footages. You know, I made sure, I told them, y'all better record every little bit of me being on that stage. I made that clear. Okay, so after going up on the stage, that was pretty much the end of the preliminary show. So then you go home or you go back to your hotel. Then it's like, normally the thoughts that will go through your mind is, I hope I made the first 15. I wonder if I made the first 15. I wondered, but I stopped wondering after like 3 seconds because it was like, I can't wait till the next day. It was just like, this was just all overall fun experience for me. I didn't mind losing. It was all for the experience. I got to experience it. It's something I could tell my kids. It's something I could tell my grandkids. I'm going to be using Huda Beauty for my foundation. I love this foundation, you guys. It's the best foundation out there. I recommend it. Yeah, so we go home, then get some rest. Next day is going to be the final show. Now, I'm thinking we get to compete again. But no. You get on that stage in your gown, then they're like, these are the top 15 people, and they name it. Boom, 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 boom. It was like, damn, that was it? I wanted to be on the stage more longer. Honestly, I really did. But once they named those people, I was clapping. It was very, like, it was a great experience. So, I mean, once they named those people, I was proud of those people because the people I rooted for were on that stage. Okay, they named the top 15. So then the rest just go back to the dressing room and start packing their stuff, their things, and wait. So we waited. Of course, there were people that were distraught. I was acting normal as if nothing happened. There were people that were distraught. There were people that said they weren't going to compete again. And I just think that's sad because, like, it was a great experience, but at least they tried it. I still want to try it again, like, to be honest. And I've done research. I want to compete in the, like, black pageant. Not to, like, I still want to compete in Miss Ohio, but I still want to try other pageants because there are more out there, especially some that represent me more. Yeah, so I want to try a black pageant because I love this foundation so much. I learned a lot through this experience. I learned that even when you're in a competition, it's not always about the competition. It's about what you're there for. What's the message that you're going to send out to people? Another thing is, I definitely learned that everyone's beautiful in their own way. I'm going to use the Pro Conceal Chestnut for my highlights. Overall, I learned a lot. I learned to love myself. I learned not to compare myself to other people because everyone's different. Everyone's there. Everyone is here for a different purpose. Everyone has a different purpose in life. Because I know, like, growing up, being as dark as I am, I came from a school where it wasn't that diverse. It wasn't a lot of diversity. I found myself comparing myself to other people a lot. Because it was like, why am I this dark? Why don't I look like everyone else? But now, like, nobody can tell me nothing. Like, you cannot tell me nothing at all whatsoever. I'm just so confident in my skin. And I'm so lucky that I'm confident in my skin, because there's not a lot of people aren't confident in their skin, no matter how old they are. Even in my community, most of the women that were born in my complexion are now like the color of the palm of my hand, like literally. And it's sad, because for anyone to even love you, you need to love yourself first. And bleaching your skin, I mean, a lot of people probably feel like, the people that bleach their skin feel like, oh, maybe it's just like doing your makeup. No, makeup is not permanent. It's not permanent, it's temporary. And I'm just enhancing what I already have. But bleaching your skin, on the other hand, you're literally erasing what God blessed you with to be a whole completely different identity. That's a whole nother story. Like, that's something else. Like, that's some other stuff. Yeah, so I just felt like it was great for me, because a lot of people from my community, younger than me, reached out to me and asked me how do they even sign up for this type of stuff. And I like that, because I feel like inspiration now. Even though I didn't win, to me it wasn't even about winning. It was the experience that mattered the most, and I learned a lot from it. Now I know coming into other pageants, not to expect that that everyone's gonna have that competition mindset. It's more of women empowerment and making everyone feel welcome and making sure everyone feels comfortable. Learned a lot, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'll definitely do it again. But yeah, this is Black Opal. I love this setting powder. It's like the best if you're dark skin. I can't even find my contour. I would use my AJ Crimson. The darkest foundation that they have is what I normally use for my contour, and I can't find it. Oh. Hi, Daddy.
What are you doing?
My makeup.
What are you doing?
My makeup. My dad had just interrupted. Yeah, this eyeshadow is like the go-to for my contour. I don't know. What else is there to say about the pageant? I just never want to be those adults that have a whole family. All you hear them say is, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and all this other nonsense. I don't want to be that. I want to do everything right now. If I say I'm going to do this, I want to do it, and I'm going to do it. That's just how I am. If I got my mind set, it's set. Ain't no going back. And for my highlight, I'm using Milani. They have it in drugstores. I think I got it for like $6, I believe. For my lips, I always keep it neutral. And I'm going to use this Fenty gloss. This is my favorite gloss, you guys. Oh, one more thing. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So I got my lashes on. Thank you guys for getting ready with me. If I can answer any more questions about like things I haven't touched on about my experience, or if you're looking to do a pageant and you need more, assistance like with answering questions and stuff, I'll be glad to help. I'll answer as much as I can. I am still new at this, but I'll answer as much as I can. Thank you.